what are the usual beauty hacks, health hacks that are not worth it, and what are actually worth it?
I feel adding a little bit of wellness in my life has really enriched my life. It really has.
Tell us about the supplements. What supplements are you on?
Routine is your saving grace. Let me tell you, it'll actually save you from a lot that goes on in life.
In the world of, like I said, Mounjaro, you have Ozempic. Berberine is a new supplement, they say, which
Yes,
which
is supposed to be age defying.
and are you on it? Effortlessly stylish, acutely charismatic, and refreshingly unapologetic. Our next guest has just put out her book, and if you know her book, you know exactly who she is. We have with us on UnPolitics this evening. And if it wasn't for Bombay, Mumbai, we would possibly have a little fire here. Welcome, Malaika Arora.
Thank you
for
so
joining
much,
us
Preeti.
on
Thank you so much for having me
UnPolitics. No.
on your show, on your podcast. Well, I'm very happy you could have a mock fireplace. So
because
actually you
it's
think and you start
Christmas.
believing that it is.
But it is Christmas,
It is
no?
that-
It's
of
just the last
course,
few
yes,
days.
It's the best time of the year.
For you, usually?
I wait, I think, all year for this time. For this 1 month. It's like my most
Really?
cherished time of the year.
Why
yes.
do you say that?
I don't know. There's something about memories, about growing up, which have so much to do with Christmas, where family would get together. We just cousins would come into town, and we'd all meet, and amazing meals that are being cooked at home. So there's just so much of nostalgia. That's it.
So grateful, hopeful as the year closes in, heartful, plateful,
stomach
all of
full.
that. And also out with a new book, Malaika. Congratulations!
Thank you. That's right. That's right. It's right here with me, sitting pretty next to me. Yes,
You know,
it's
but
easy to be healthy.
You seem to make it look like it's very easy to be healthy, but we're going to come to that. But okay, let's begin with where we started. So the year is closing. It's Christmas time. I'm sure. Are you the one? A bit of nostalgia, a bit of melancholy, who look back
Yeah.
at the year gone by. Are you one of those?
I tend
Or
to,
is it
yes.
just-
No, see, I'm somebody who's very pragmatic. I'm somebody who doesn't get really bogged down by things around me. But I think at the end of the year, I don't know, for whatever it's worth, at least someone like me, I just kind of recap the year. I kind of go through the various beats of, things that have happened, good, bad, highs, lows, all of it. And I kind of do sit and think about it and kind of wonder whether is there anything I could have done differently, or maybe I should have kind of handled something differently, or maybe I should have gone out and something, whatever it may be. Yes, it's a whole lot of nostalgia at the end of the year. I kind of feel this time of the year, Christmas, December, is all about reflection, self-reflection. That's pretty much how I look at it. But I'm also someone who also looks forward to the new year. I'm not big on trying
Melancholy.
no, maybe not
More
melancholy or
nostalgia,
making,
but-
but I'm big on nostalgia. But I
Right.
look forward to the new year. I just do. I just feel like I set myself up to a lot of goals for the year, and I feel I need to kind of really tick mark that through the year.
Okay, so if you look back this year, Malaika, and we're now practically the fag end, so what worked? What didn't work? What were the highs? What were the lows?
Actually, it's been a fantastic year, I have to say, on a level purely. Like I said, there are a few things off my bucket list that I've always wanted, and it's kind of happened right from opening my restaurant, which happened literally beginning of the year. This time exactly,
I believe it has a
end of
Christmas menu.
end of the year. So my restaurant opened. In
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We opened the Scarlet House in Bandra, and from there we actually in 6 months we actually opened another branch of it in Mumbai itself. So that for me was a huge achievement and a huge tick off that bucket list of mine. And yes, we're doing a beautiful Christmas menu, which is all my mom's favorites and all family favorites. Again, it's all on nostalgia. I think we kind of we really crush on on nostalgia.
The
And
smells of Christmas, huh? So that, that's what the menu must be all about. Reminding
yes,
you of,
it's literally
all
it's like
those years
it's
and
like
all those
food.
memories.
Smells always do that, right?
Yeah, yeah, I
Smells bring back memories.
100%.
Whether it's food or whether it's a scent or whether it's just sometimes you enter a certain space, it kind of just brings back a certain sense of deja vu. So yes, food does that. I mean, I always associate it with a certain time in my life, a certain growing, aspect of my life, maybe when I was 16 or maybe when I was 25 or 40, so I kind of always have these little remembrance that I kind of hold on to, and smell is a huge part of that. I think you just, just like I said, it just takes you back in time.
Malaika, it's you make it look very easy, and let's talk about your book then, and then we'll just move on a bit. But you make it look very easy. How easy is it to be healthy? You talk about the
See,
foods.
nothing
A lot
in
of people
life
would be
is-
saying, "I don't think she eats."
No, nothing in life is
Right.
easy. There's a certain amount of effort that goes, and a certain amount of consistency, a certain amount of discipline that goes into every aspect of life. I'm somebody who lives by it. I think closing the year with releasing my book was again something that has just made me feel so grateful. I feel like my heart is full and my plate is full. I just feel so happy about it because it's been something that's there in the pipeline. But I always feel there's a time and place for everything, and that's probably why it says it's easy to be healthy. Because I think I've tried to go about it in a way which is fairly organic, which is not preachy, which is not heavy on your pocket, which can be doable, which is very doable. So I think I've kind of touched upon all these things, and all of it is trial and error. All of it is literally out of my playbook. So it's not like it's not like I'm talking about things which I will do or I'm not so sure about. It's all literally stuff that
You've
I've
done over the years.
experimented
You've
over the
perfected.
years.
Some have failed. Some
Yeah.
have worked. You put
So
them.
some
So this book was
literally.
in the making for, I would reckon, a
So
decade
it's-
and a half.
I
then.
think it's been in my head forever.
Forever.
Like I've
So-
always been that kind of person who'd make a little footnote. Like every time I'd eat something or I'd try something or I'd cook something or I'd have a shot, I'd always make a little footnote just for my own. I'm a complete. I love scribbling, so that's something I've always done. So I just felt if I could actually put all of that together, and and a question often asked, is, okay, how do you do this, and what do you eat, and what time do you sleep? So I said, why not just put it all together, because these are little aspects of my life that actually make the person that I am, or who, the person that I or the little things that I live by. So I just said, why not put it all in a book?
No, the fact is, if you're on the cover of a book like that, there'd be many who'd pick it up. Like I'd pick it up because I can't get my eyes off you, and then I'm sorry because I
that's
hate
very-
these ageist jibes. But for most Indian women, or I rarely know any who look as good as you at
That's
the
very
age that
kind
you
of
are.
you.
It is amazing.
But again,
it's very
there's so
inspiring.
much of emphasis on how you look or how
No,
it is, and
but but that's also the nature of the game.
Well, of
right?
course, I agree. I mean, it's
the sh-
totally part and parcel of
who
the
you
business
are.
that we are in, but I guess everything revolves around age and the way you look.
I agree with
so
that.
I think there are certain myths and certain things that you need to kind of
Bust.
do away with over a period of time. I mean, I could say great genes and all of that, but eventually you've got to preserve yourself. It's as simple as that. I
You've
mean,
done a darn good job.
Well-
Because I was just thinking this morning, and I was, I'm a political reporter, so I'm thinking who, and then there's Milan Soman, and there's you. Milan Soman at 60 is running marathons barefoot, and he looks like a dream.
Like a dream,
and
absolutely.
he does.
But again, see, I mean, from whatever I know of him, and I've known
Right.
him long enough, it's just discipline. It's certain amount of discipline, certain amount of consistency. It's very easy to just let go and say, abhi kar liya, bahut ho gaya.
It's getting up and doing the same things
Same
every
thing,
day.
routine. People hate routine, but let me tell you, routine is your saving grace. Let me tell you, it'll actually save you from a lot that goes on in life.
So showing up is pretty much.
Pretty much it. And have a routine. There's nothing wrong. People get fed up about a routine. They get, tired, or, it's like, oh God, routine, I can't do it. Just do it. Let me tell you, it may sound monotonous, it may sound routine, but just get that routine in your life. And it means waking up at a certain hour, eating at a certain time, working out, stepping out, sleeping. I think routine is very important.
What's Malaika Arora's routine?
Oh, pretty much of how I kind of said just now. I wake up mostly at the same time.
What's the time?
It's probably around 7:30. That's when
Every day.
every single day. I love doing my morning,
Rituals.
affirmations and my rituals, my manifestations. I love doing that, and there are certain rituals that I've been doing for like
All right, so it's from
forever.
physical to holistic to mental,
Yes, so
everything
it's a little bit
together.
of wellness, and I feel adding a little bit of wellness in my life has really enriched my life. It really has, because I didn't think like this when I was in my 20s or 30s. But back then I was like just running around and getting
Did you
work
manifest the
done.
restaurant?
I probably did. I really
The
did.
book?
I did.
You did.
I did.
So you do believe in the
I
power
do.
of
I
manifestation.
really do believe in it. I do this every single day.
So you visualize how you see it.
Yes, I really do. It's as crazy as it may sound, or maybe I don't know whatever, but I kind of visualize, I manifest, I have affirmations every single day of my life.
And what do you do? Because I think everyone wants to know, what is it that you do? How, like, are there some seeds that you eat in the morning? Is there a particular mix that you go back to every morning? Seed
So, yeah,
cycling is something
I
new
do
that,
that. Seed cycling is great, and
something
women
that
our
you're
age,
doing.
we need it. I mean,
Uh-huh.
if you're either you're
we'll talk about
perimenopause or if you're
perimenopause as well.
menopause or whatever, it's very important because it actually really helps with your hormones. It really
So you do all of
balances
that.
it. I do that. I didn't know of it till I learned about it, and then I figured that it really does help me because I didn't know I was doing it all wrong. I was just taking like a handful of seeds and just eating.
Well,
and
that's what
thinking
we are doing every day.
which really doesn't help.
Panch badam, char,
It really doesn't
walnuts,
help,
So throw in a bit of pumpkin seeds.
So I've kind of
Yeah.
mentioned that as well.
all there.
It's all there in the book, when to eat what certain, seeds are better first half of the day, second are better in the second half of the day. Certain seeds work better depending on your monthly menstrual cycle. So all of that, makes a huge difference. I've been following all of that, little rituals, whether it's hair, skin, whether it's just gut cleanse. I've been doing all of that. And a lot of people ask me, I mean, I'm 50. I mean, obviously everybody's like, aren't you, perimenopause, or don't you? I'm like, I actually don't even feel any of it because I think it's just how I've lived my life. It's definitely part of our DNA, and we have to live with it.
Right.
Whether it's hot flashes or whether it's feeling bloated or not being able to sleep, or whether you're fatigued, or all of these things.
Yeah,
So
your
it's
hair
all-
thins out, your
hair
skin
thins out.
It's none of that with you. So
No,
allow me to ask this question.
let me tell you that it's all part and parcel of
I
life.
don't see it.
But
We don't see it.
But
We
I've-
see Malaika Arora, who's this black swan in a sea of 50-year-olds who are talking about what's the best magnesium supplement to take, who are speaking of why we can't sleep at night because it's either we're menopausal,
Yes,
those with the
or
sad
your
set of
magnesium
women,
is really
or you're
low.
perimenopausal, or you're in your early 40s and you're reaching there, and they look at you and they actually see you as this black swan. I don't think it's happening to her.
You make it sound like as if I'm living in like
It is
oxygen
No,
chamber, and I've just
it's
preserved
timeless.
myself.
It's you at least project the picture of just being ageless, timeless, however one sees it. So for a lot of women, Malaika, when they look at you, and especially older women, will look at you, like I said, like a black swan moment. Ke iske saath to nahi hai. I don't think she's going through any of
Actually,
what we are going through.
That's a contrary way of looking at things, honestly. I think I go through all my beats, like probably a woman at your age or any of the women around us. I go through all those beats, but like I said, I follow and I live life a certain way. So whether it means I show every day, whether it's waking up, going to the gym, doing my rituals in the morning, starting my morning with that warm water and lemon, or some of the seeds that I've pre-soaked at night, or whether it is a shot of ginger. I do this every single day. I don't miss. I don't pretend. I make it part and parcel of my daily routine. As much as it may sound very like, oh God, अभी किसके पास time है, कौन करने वाला है? क्या मतलब 1 घंटा थोड़ी फर्क पड़ने वाला है? Just remove a little bit of time, and you can actually make a few changes, and you actually see it. In the long run, it actually helps.
That's what I'm saying. I'm in my early 40s now, and
That's it. If you start then,
that's
trust me. And honestly, I think I kind of understood all of this was when my
But not
post
many
40.
50-year-old women who are doing this look like you, Malaika. Maybe it's just a blessing, but a lot of them
Then
don't
get my
look the
book.
way.
Get my book.
That's a great plug. Like, we don't want to make that plug, but you've got to do it because
That's very
they
kind.
don't. They
That's
don't.
very
And
sweet.
so, no, I just want to know, okay, are there moments of vulnerability? Does Malaika
course.
Arora think that, my skin, I've got that wrinkle, my hair is thinning, perimenopause, I'm bloating.
Of course, all of it.
The hormones are coming.
Let me tell you all of the above. I'm no different. I am absolutely no different. I went through this phase where I felt like my hair was thinning. I just felt like I had such. And then I said, listen, I have to do something about it. That's when I started reading up. I started, whether it was rosemary. I mean, it's not like at a certain age you can suddenly start sprouting.
Right.
It's not going to happen. But you have to start making a few changes, and you'll actually see. A lot of it has got to do with gut health, eating right, suddenly I realized that there are certain food types that were not agreeing with me. So I kind of started eliminating that, which is, things like whether it was lactose or gluten. I didn't care. I was eating all of it. I realized that
But
it
you're
was.
very disciplined,
But
by
I
the
am
way.
disciplined. I figured that these things don't work. And that's the only reason why. I was having breakouts. My hair was thinning. I was feeling sluggish. I just tweaked a few things. Just a few things in
Mostly
my.
natural, organic.
Yes.
Tell us about the supplements. What supplements are you on?
I think women our age need like a
So
whole
what
lot
is
of
it? So,
supplements,
okay, no,
whether
tell me
it's
the ones.
calcium, whether it's iron, and I'm highly iron deficient, let me tell you that.
Okay.
Whether it's magnesium, whether it's folic acid, I think you need all of this. But it's how you take it, what time of the day, how much you actually need.
But in the world of, like I said, Mounjaro, you have Ozempic. Berberine is a new supplement, they say, which,
Yes,
which
which is supposed to be age defying, and
are
I
you on
totally
it?
no, I
No, no
haven't.
berberine.
No, no. But I've
Astaxanthin?
read about it.
Astaxanthin?
I've read
Yeah.
about berberine, and I've read that it's really taken in the right dosage, and depending on how you actually administer and have it, it actually really helps beautifully. But again, when it comes to things aiding weight loss, I think that's a very personal journey.
No, I agree.
It's a very personal
I
journey.
agree.
I'm
And
nobody
whatever,
to sit
yeah,
down.
whatever floats your
whatever
boat.
floats
Yeah,
your boat.
I
I'm
agree.
no one to sit down here and say, "Oh, how can you take this?" Do you know that? As long as you know what you're doing, do a little bit of R&D, know what the side effects are. I mean, if somebody feels that by taking Ozempic or taking Mounjaro, it has actually given them a little bit of kickstart, to
Do
a
it.
to a
I
certain
agree.
journey, then
100%.
so be
Whatever,
it.
whatever works for
Whatever
you.
works. I'm nobody to tell you that. I will tell you things that have worked for me, that I've actually that I swear by, and I feel it's it's the right way to actually have that conversation and tell them, try this out. It may, and nothing is going to happen overnight. You and me both know that.
Yeah, but maybe. Yeah.
Give
I
it.
think it's discipline.
It's
I've realized
discipline.
one thing that I take off from this conversation is astute discipline.
Absolutely.
That you've got to do it over and over and
Yeah,
over
my
again,
son-
and maybe you'll do 20% of what she
My
looks
son
like.
tells
but-
me, he's like, "Mom, it's okay. Sleep in late today." Just I'm like, no, I have to be. I have to wake up and get
How much
that
time
hour.
in a day do you invest in just health? Because a lot of women say we just don't have that kind of time.
Nah, I don't believe
all
that.
these
I
celebrities
really-
have where somebody's cutting out their meals,
I don't,
giving them their
I
pills.
don't agree. I have, yes, of course, we come from a certain. Okay, fine. We've got help at home. We've got so much happening.
Right.
But then, it doesn't just run on its own, right? I have to
So
be.
your whole day is not engineered about how Malaika looks.
Not at all, please.
No.
That would sound like the most narcissistic thing anybody could say, that I'm going to engineer my entire day like that. I find my time in the morning. That's
do
probably
that.
why I wake up an hour early.
So you do it in the morning,
I do
then you
most
work
of it in
out.
the morning. I eat healthy through the day. I'm somebody
Okay.
who believes in eating home cooked food. Like, even I'll carry whatever
Your
it may be.
dabbas.
It could be leftover food when I wake up in the morning and there's no time. I'm like, just pack whatever left. But as long as it's clean, healthy, homemade food is something that I swear by. I carry my water from home. I try avoiding, drinking water from outside. So I do all of that. I think these are little things which everybody can do.
Let
You
me
don't
ask-
need a battalion to run after you for any of that.
All right, so it's not that. Okay, no, that's good, because a lot of people think that they have too much help, because that's their business.
Unfortunately,
they are their
yeah,
business.
I guess.
So
See, that, like I said, there's a certain part that comes from privilege, right? Where
No, fair.
you have people who who help you out, who work with you, who manage a certain lifestyle. But khud to bhi karna padta hai. They're not going to come and physically feed
fair,
me.
fair.
I go into the kitchen. I'm very particular. Ye banao, wo banao, make it like this.
but that's it. So there's only a small part of the day, and you do everything else
Yeah.
with it.
Through the day, I'm working. Whether it's at a shoot, or whether it's at my restaurant, whether I'm catching a flight, whether I'm spending time with my family. It's sometimes 24 hours is not enough. It's just not enough.
Before we move on from this, I'm going to ask you one. So, because you've tried and tested it, and clearly it's working for you, what are the usual beauty hacks, health hacks that are not worth it? And what, like, if you had to give advice, and what are actually worth it?
See, I am somebody, go the cosmetic way. If you feel that's what works for you, please go for it.
The Botox, the fillers,
Whatever.
do what? Yeah,
Karna to karo. There's nobody telling
yeah.
you not to. I also feel there are loads of things that you can actually get out of your kitchen. Literally, like you say,
What's the
age
most
old.
overrated thing to do?
Most overrated.
कि मतलब करने की जरूरत नहीं है, सब कहते हैं करने के लिए, but you don't need to do it.
I would say the most overrated would be, people say, eat this whole thing of starving and eating these.
Intermittent fasting.
No, I swear by
that's
intermittent.
where
I swear by it. Actually helps your hormones. It really helps balance
How many
your hormones.
hours do you?
I do
intermittent?
it like 16 to 18 hours.
Oh, wow.
I do that.
Okay.
But I don't do it every day. I do it twice a week. thrice, depend,
Okay, that's your
so that's
call. Yeah,
twice a
yeah,
week for
okay.
sure. I do that. I feel people who like are on OMAD, one meal a day. I think these are
Ah,
things that are just not good for you.
not
They
workable.
will not. They may work temporarily, but you're going to have long term.
What's that one ingredient in the kitchen? If you had to pick one,
Ginger and turmeric.
ginger and
Yeah.
turmeric,
I'm obsessed with both.
and they work.
And they work like magic. They really work like magic. Start your day with warm water and ginger with maybe a little fresh haldi in it. It literally does. And little seeds, like whether it is coriander seeds, methi seeds, or sauf, these things. Believe it or not, things like long. Tea, you don't really, these are things that are in the house. You don't need to go and spend, you use this in your daily cooking. Just have that, just boil a few of them at night, sip that at night, and then you see the sleep that you get. I mean, you probably don't even need that added
Melatonin.
dose of melatonin, dose
Yeah.
of melatonin or magnesium. You don't even need that. Have that. It just calms your body.
Which is what?
Which is clove tea. Just take 3-4 at night.
And that's that.
Just put it into water, boil it. It'll change. The color
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
changes.
Just
strain
brew it a bit and then that's
drink
that.
that. Just drink that. You can add a little bit of lemon to it and drink that. It gives you beautiful sleep. It actually helps your body, unwind. You can actually feel your body just ease. You see how amazing sleep you get post that. So yeah, these are small things you can do at home.
Malaka, I was reading up a bit about you, and for somebody who came in from what you described as a matchstick house to where you're sitting today, and with all that you have done, and there's a fair bit. If you look back, what's the journey been like? Was it really a matchstick apartment that
It
you came from?
was. Oh
And I
my
saw that
God.
stand up, where you actually, were working in like, traveling through local, trains and all of that was a part of your daily routine.
Yeah, of
And it really
course.
was a tiny matchstick.
Yes,
matchbox
I
house.
I remember we didn't even have a permanent address. We would just keep moving homes because we were living on rental. I mean, whatever. Couldn't really.
So things were tough growing
Of
up.
course, it was. I mean, I think that's probably why I appreciate everything that I have in life at this moment, because I've been through that entire grind. A lot
you
of people
understand
say
the
that,
hustle then.
yes, the hustle, and I will hustle till my dying day. I know that. And a lot of my people say, "Oh, you're very frugal." I'm not frugal. I'm very particular. I'm very conscious of the fact that I've seen those hardships. It was really, really, really tough. And then you kind of make things happen, make things work, seized every opportunity. I was so hungry for every opportunity. I never said like whether like I like, why are you, burning yourself to the ground? I'm like, but if I'm not going to do it, no one's going to do it for me. I mean, if it means if I have to take a 6 a.m. flight, land, go to work, get barely 3 hours of sleep, wake up again in the morning, catch another flight, drive for 4 hours, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I know I need that hustle. I know I need to live a certain way. I know I need to take care of my kids. So I'm going to go through that hustle. I don't care. Someone around probably would say, you don't need to do it. You've been working 30 years. I'm like, so what? I still feel, I think in my head, I still live like that. I still feel the fact that I still need to do that hustle. And every time my mom will be like, take it easy. It's okay. Take a few days off. I'm like, yeah, I will take a few days off when it's necessary. But right now, I love the hustle and I'm not going to give that up.
No, I think, a past is pretty much your present, because I was reading somewhere as well that, not somewhere as well. I used to be a really fat kid. So I'll only buy clothes which are, an extra large or a large, even though I'm a small now.
Yeah.
So
in
it
your
just
head.
stays, it's
just there.
embedded,
Just certain
it's there.
things are
it's there.
embedded. It's in your
Right.
DNA, no matter how much progress you make in life.
Yeah, you
But I
just-
also feel these are good reminders as well.
True, I agree.
Don't take things for granted. For example, I'm just saying, like even something like weight loss. You've achieved so much to be a certain way, but you also somewhere feel you kind of let go and you're gonna go back to to what you were. So I think it's very important to be, to stay on top of your game, to
You're
feel
fairly
grateful.
grounded, because even when you speak of, like I said, I was going through that stand up where you practically roasted yourself.
I had a blast doing it.
And very self-deprecative, which very few people have. Where self-deprecative humor, they can make fun of themselves and have a laugh. And it's there where you talk about the duck walk, you talk about the paps. Does it bother you though, or do they come on their own every time you're working out and you're leaving, and there is this one shot of Malaika just walking, away from the camera?
I guess now that's become part and parcel or whatever. It's just,
So they wait for you every other
well,
day.
I mean, there
Because
is
you're
a lot.
disciplined,
There
you
is
go
a lot
every
of
day.
things that go on, or what. I mean, I'm not going to put so much of emphasis on that. I mean, it's an entire culture that's probably taken over, which probably wasn't there back when I started work. I mean, we didn't have any of this. Along the way, this entire culture became part and parcel of daily life. I mean, forget me, whether it is kids or whether it is, you know, it's everywhere. Whether little big kids aren't spared, So I mean, who the hell am I? I mean, sometimes I find that a little daunting. I'm like, just let the kids be. They're really tiny. You don't need to go and put a camera in their face. At least we are far more equipped to handle a certain situation. A child is just like, what the hell is going on? So yeah. So like I said, I mean, eventually they became memes. They became talk points. I was like, why not you know sit and laugh at it myself. I think that's the best way to go about it, as opposed to sit down and wonder ki why the
But
hell
you
are
don't walk
people.
like a duck. Why would you?
And even if I do, I really don't care. I really don't
No, you
care.
don't.
Maybe I do have a really weird walk, but you know what? So be it. And
But you don't have a weird walk.
but I guess somewhere it was, everybody was like, oh my God, she walks a certain way. Like I said, I just made a joke about everything. It felt great. I was like, you know what? You want to laugh about it? Let me laugh with you. We'll both laugh together and have a good laugh about it.
It's very inspiring for a lot of women, because the way you've conducted your life, Malaika, and there's something which is the brevity of it. It's quite courage. I put it as quiet courage, because to leave a marriage that young, to go in for a divorce, to live your life unapologetically, women go through their lives living in unhappy marriages.
Absolutely,
They
yeah.
go through the motions.
Absolutely.
And it's 99%. And
Yes.
if privilege is an equalizer, nobody, it's not that you're privileged, you're not going to do it.
Yes, absolutely,
Everyone does it. It takes being very, very brave as a woman to make decisions in your life and be
Yes.
the driver of your life.
Absolutely.
And to wear it on your sleeve unapologetically. Do you accept that compliment in your life?
I feel very happy when somebody says that. I really do, because I feel
Because it's enormous to
it
do
is.
it, because and in the country that we live in,
yes, I faced a
which
lot.
sits and judges you at every
I
step.
faced loads of judgment. I faced loads of backlash. And not just from public. I mean, that's even not I'm saying even closer home, like, friends and family also. They were like, I was questioned about all those choices at that point. But I'm just so happy that I stuck by, my choices. And I have no regrets. I stick by all my choices.
No, to go into the unknown, Malaika. Very
Absolutely.
few women have, like I said, there's this brave quality it's very rare. It's called quiet courage, where you do things without, because courage and being brave are usually attached to an event.
Absolutely.
That he was brave then, or she
yes.
was brave then. To live your life like that is because most 90% don't do it, especially being women in our country.
Yeah,
we do not do it.
Absolutely. We are that literally a very minuscule percentage that actually takes that. And I mean, I didn't know. I really didn't know what was in store for me. I didn't know what lies ahead. I said, you know what, at this point, I need to take make this move in my life, because I felt it was important for me to be happy. And nobody understands that. How can you put your happiness first? It's like the most.
And you didn't know you were going to be happy. It was a move you need to make.
I needed to. I said I need to do that just so that I know that I can actually be happy, or be happy on my own. And I will, I was like, I'm fine. I'm good. I will take on whatever. I'm okay being on my own. At the most, what? I won't have work for a bit. At the most, people will say a certain something. I was like, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'll take it on. It's all right.
And people have sat in judgment. I'm not going to ask you about your personal life. It's none of my business. But, people will sit and pass judgment on your relationships, on how you conduct yourself, the clothes that you wear, what you say, how you dance. Recently, there has been. It is non-stop.
Judgment all
not the
the
first
time.
time you've had this question
Absolutely.
being asked.
Every single time.
But I want to ask you, would these questions be asked of a man who was your age? Who was maybe dating a young
Obviously
girl?
not. I
Would
think
it-
I've
would it
said
have
this
been asked?
on a couple of platforms. Not at all. They're not. I mean, that unfortunately, those questions are never asked. Those eyebrows are never
Never
risen.
raised.
So I guess it's always, at some level, it's always whether it's applauded or whether it's just taken for granted, or it's just understood that, listen, we live in a very
Sexist, patriarchal
misogynistic
society.
so that's how it is. So no, I mean, there's never any judgment when it comes to certain aspects when it comes to men. No, and unfortunately women have to bear the brunt of it and face it on a daily level. And if there's a woman who kind of moves away from that, obviously, which is the typical
the cookie cutter.
the cookie cutter that you say. If you move away from that, then obviously then she is not your ideal woman, and then what the hell has she done, right? Immediately there are things that are said, or fingers that are pointed. But I guess if you actually move away from that and actually make a life and actually can set by example, then I think it's you're doing something right.
Malaika, was there a moment of epiphany that, okay, I'm not going to care a rat's ass. Let people say what they
Oh,
want.
yeah, of
Do you
course.
remember that
Yeah,
one?
yeah. I
Has there
do.
been, you remember that
Yes,
moment?
I actually do.
Which is?
I actually do remember when I said, you know what? I remember that very, very clearly because
It came at the back of something?
there was a lot of chatter. There was a lot of, whether it is, like you said, whether it is on my personal life, with how I dress or what I do, my choices. There was a lot of chatter at some point. And I feel these are things that will always be there. It's how you handle it, it's how you go about life, and eventually let your work speak for yourself. Let your accolades speak for itself. So I think I've always eventually I realized that. And there was that time where I said, you know what? I mean, I may not be the one to sit and show my middle finger. I'm not going to be doing any of that. But I remember very, very clearly there was that one night where I said, you know what? I don't care. I really care like a rat's ass about any of these situations, or what people say, or how they perceive me, or what they think, or what might be out there. At the end of the day, this is my life. I pay my own bills. I run my own kitchen. I run my home. I take care of my family. I give my son a fantastic life. I really don't owe anybody an explanation at all.
But there was a time that you would maybe have a ball about it and it would impact you. Does it still impact you sometimes, though? It can't be, no, not at all.
No,
Nothing.
I think there was certain aspects or chapters or walls. I'm just like literally, and I'm not even making this up. I'm not trying to sound a certain way or trying to be cool. No, there are certain aspects that I've just completely eradicated from my life. I'm like, I can't live in that toxic space. I'm human. Certain things that are said, or certain things
About
that
how
are
you dress, about your
or whatever
relationships,
you
about
read.
anything.
Yes, those are things that may trigger you, may bring about a certain emotion. I may have a probably a cry about it, but that's about it, and I move on.
Do you have best friends?
Of course, I do, and I value
Tell me
them.
something. No, this I will ask. Is it okay to have a glass of wine once in a while?
Of course it is.
It's-
Of course it is. In fact, it is highly recommended. I don't
no,
drink.
no, there are this multi. Oh, you don't
I
drink.
don't drink
Then,
wine.
no, then
I'm
you,
not
if
a
you look
wine
like
drinker.
this,
I'm
no.
not. I don't really this. I enjoy a glass of tequila every once in a while. I'm not a drinker per se.
Okay, so,
So
silently I'm noting down the
Yeah.
alcohol that
I don't. Yeah. So I have to say, I don't smoke. I'm not a drinker. I'm an occasional drinker, and I literally break it down to those few special occasions in the year, whether it's a birthday or
Okay.
a New Year or Christmas or something where I actually, otherwise, I'm not. I am completely anti smoking. I do not like it. I don't encourage it, nothing. So these are few things that I'm just very averse to. But yes, you like a glass of wine. Please have a glass of wine every day. Have 3 glasses of wine.
no.
But,
Then
you know,
the aim is to look 20% of what you're
but
looking at your age.
in moderation. I'm telling you,
Okay,
your doctor
everything.
will tell you the same thing.
Yeah,
Your
fair
doctor would
point.
say the same thing. Kick that butt, stay away from that. But if you
Yeah.
have to have something, then have a glass of wine. I think a small tequila is fantastic. It actually is actually very good. You trust me when I say.
I don't have time. I have the last 5 minutes, so I'm going to ask you: do you still believe in love? Do you think it's possible because you're a certain age, or do you think, or rather, not believe in
What
love?
has age got to do?
No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell
Are
you-
age and love
No, no.
correlated?
I don't care.
I'm just
But I'll
very-
tell you what. No. I'm coming to the question that I was asking you. No, they are not. But because in the realms of how it's looked
Perceived as.
perceived as is, why would you marry after a point of time? It's fine. You can have relationships,
Yeah.
but do you believe in marriage? That's the question.
Of course I do, but that doesn't mean it's meant for me.
It's not meant for you.
I don't. I mean,
I'm-
if it has to happen, great. I'm not seeking it. I'm
Okay.
not saying that. Oh, I need to. I'm not. I'm very content. I've done the marriage thing. I've moved beyond. I've done relationships.
You're not jaded though.
Not at all. That's the last thing. I'm certainly not jaded. The day you think like that, the day you feel that you're jaded, then you know what? Then it's time for you to seriously introspect. I still feel like I love life. I love the idea of love. I love being loved. I love sharing love. I love being in a situation where I know I can nurture something beautiful. So I'm totally totally open to it, but at the same time, I'm not seeking it. If it happens, if it comes knocking at my door, then I will.
Last two questions.
I'll be happy.
You're raising a young boy, and also in industry which is replete with patriarchy. How are you doing it differently?
Um,
Especially what you faced yourself.
I mean, well, see, I think we are co-parenting. I think that's part of bringing up my son, and he has understood the fact that at least figured it out that I think my parents are happier, you know,
Yeah.
apart, and they've actually made a life despite whatever has transpired. We co-parent. We have a lot of things where we understand that it has to be done a certain way because of.
But
of
does he treat
keeping-
women differently
uh,
because of the way you have brought him up?
In what way?
In a nicer way.
For
Which-
him?
Yeah, for how he looks at women.
I think so too.
Yeah?
I think his whole
because he's seen you go through
he
this
has
whole...
seen that.
Yeah.
He understands what it is. He is so much more uh, open. He's so much more understanding. He's so much more giving. He's a lot more open about situations. I don't think he's judgy in any way. And he is. In fact, the more I see him, growing up, the more I understand that he's very, very understanding when it comes to women's feelings. Are they, are
yeah,
they
I
fine?
agree.
Are they not fine? Why, I mean, he said that very recently. He says a lot of my friends, girls, he said, they say, and they're all so young. They're like 22, 23, that age group. And they're like, oh, we don't mind settling down and getting married and stuff. And he was like, why? He says, you're so young.
But you got married, yeah.
That's what. And if you
So
have
that's
to
your
ask me, what I tell my
Yeah,
my
would you?
23-year-old self, that's probably the one thing I would say.
Don't do.
Don't do that.
Don't do
Don't.
that.
Please don't make that mistake of getting married so young. I mean, beautiful things have happened. The best thing is that I had my kid early. But I
Yeah.
feel live life a little. Just experience life a little. Then take that call of settling down, which means whether it is financially, emotionally, just be a little more independent in these aspects before you can actually settle down. in
Malaika,
life.
if you had to give yourself advice to a 23-year-old Malaika Arora, what would you tell her today?
One would definitely be
Your younger self.
my young self would be, and I've said this before as well, is it's okay to say no. Back then, it was very difficult. I would never, you'd be petrified to say no. So to tell my younger self, it's okay to say in any situation,
situation,
whether it was work, whether it was in a situation where it required, or whether it was in a relationship, or whether it was going out, dating, whatever it may be, it's okay to say no because you feel so conscious about the fact if I say no or whatever, will I be hurting somebody's feelings, or
Will I
is
lose
it
the
fun?
job?
Will I get the job,
Yeah.
or will I be considered difficult? It's okay to say no, and I've realized that much later. And I would definitely tell my younger self, please don't rush into marriage at that point. I would definitely say that. I'm like, live your life, be independent, emotionally, physically, financially, be independent, understand yourself before you can actually go down that path and take that plunge. Get married, fall in love many times, but just take your time.
I was going to ask you what's the advice that you have for women, but there's so much that you've said, and they take away a bit from all that, that we've just spoken through. But okay, so how are you looking at 2026? What are you manifesting?
Oh my
What
God.
is it? What's a second part to that book?
Well, I would definitely like to write another book. I would definitely like to add to that because I think there are so many things that we can't put. There are only 260 pages and not everything can be there. So I think there's a lot more that I would like to share. So yes, I would definitely like to do that. I'm enjoying my entire entrepreneurial journey. I'm loving it, expanding and collaborating with people. So those are things. Definitely the entire F&B space that is
Another restaurant branch?
Yes, definitely. Not just a couple of them.
A couple of
because
them.
I think there are different kinds of cuisines and different kinds of experiences that I would like to create and let people enjoy. So that is something
On the personal front?
personal front, I think let's just keep that ... to be continued.
Well, on that note, but thank you, Malaika, and more power.
Thank
to
you. And I think
You know,
women
you've
should.
been spunky. You're a cracker, and it's amazing to have women like you.
Thank
because
you.
you inspire so many out there.
Thank you so much.
Truly,
And I
you
really
do
feel
that.
women should have a voice. And it's very important for women to be, to find that independence in whatever way. Freedom of thought, freedom of being financially independent. I think it's very, very important at various levels for women to,
And
to
as
have
important as that, Malaika, is for women who actually have agency, like you,
Yeah.
to be saying it for what it is.
It is. I think
Because it's very empowering for somebody who's sitting somewhere down the line and wondering, should I leave this marriage, or is berberine a good idea? Whichever one you pick.
You know what? If you're having any of those thoughts, you know what? It's okay. Have those thoughts. See it through. You never
Yeah.
know. You have one life. Take chances. That's the only way you will know what's in store for you.
Well, thank you. And
Thank
I wish
you
you
so
really
much,
well. I
Preeti.
wish
Thank
you a
you s-
fabulous day ahead, and
Thank
the book
you.
does well.
Thank you so
Let's
much
hope-
and have a fantastic new year and a
Thank you.
happy 2026.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.